All right, Kraken fans, here with Carrick after day one of training camp. Connor, how you feeling?
Feel good. Hopefully I'm not too red-faced. It was good. We got up and down the ice. Coach Haxall ran a competitive first day. Good poise, good energy by everyone.
And let's start there. So this is the first official practice with everyone, all the coaches. But we saw that there were also some players-only skates. And, when you get to the official practice, what are some things that you think change as far as if it's pace or style between that and players-only?
I think it's just precision. Like guys get really sharp. They're paying attention to some of the NHL details, where their sticks are, kind of where they're stopping in a defensive posture versus it's just a little bit more free-flowing. It was competitive before training camp, but you can't replicate the accountability of a coach you're trying to impress, and that's what everyone's trying to do. It's a fresh start here with Seattle, and while the organizations do, there's a lot of veteran experience in the room, so it was a good first day.
Absolutely. And when it comes to you and the Seattle Kraken, first let's just kind of talk about what your journey has been and what brought you here to Seattle.
Yeah, I've been around a bit, a couple down years in New Jersey and then an injury before that in Dallas. Probably the highlight and most I was in the NHL lineup was in Toronto, so I've been trying to get back to a position where I'm more in that 3 through 6 in the defensive lineup. It's going to be a congested group. I know they took a lot of defensemen in the expansion draft, but I like the opportunity here in Seattle, and based on what I knew how Coach Haxall wanted to play, I thought it was a good fit, and the business stars aligned, and here we are.
And so, without giving away too many team secrets, you talked about kind of that vision. We hear a lot about the culture and the prototype of the type of player that's here for Seattle in this inaugural season. How would you kind of summarize that?
I think there's a certain maturity that sets into your game when you have more and more NHL experience, and it kind of shows up as like defensive responsibility, understanding how to use the other 4 guys on your team to make it really difficult on the other team, and then maybe offensive savviness is the word. So we've got some good offensive pop all throughout our lineup. I don't know if we have anybody that scored 50 last year, but we expect to be competitive right away. That was a conversation in the meetings, and I think we took a good first step.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I love that. And thinking about on that defensive end, Ron Francis has talked a lot about that's a focus of him and how he likes to build a team. So when it comes to a first day of training camp, what are some of the things that you're doing with some of your other defensemen or even the goalies to maybe get a little bit of that chemistry early on? Well,
we have great goaltenders, and that's the first step to making your defense look great is have guys back there that are really good at stopping the puck. After that, it's the NHL game now. Everyone's it's a copycat league. Everyone kind of uses similar but slightly different buzzwords and things like that. But we want some other groups. We want to be really sticky with our sticks and in people's hands and kind of be crowbarring and getting under people. Hands and hips is kind of the slang that a lot of teams and coaches use. We're trying to win the battle and the war that way.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So you've given us a lot of hockey. It's only day one. There'll be more, and we'll get that. But let's talk a little bit about you and your family coming out here to Seattle, and what have been some of the experiences you've been able to enjoy so far?
We snuck out to Port Ludlow. We have a friend that had a home out there. We did that on one of the off weekends. That was spectacular. Probably one of the favorite memories we've had here, if not as a couple ever. Just kind of a nice quiet buffer between the chaos of summer and the chaos of the season. Hiking, coffee, we're a little hippie that way. We're into that kind of stuff. The pour overs and the fancy $4 espressos.
How do you usually start your day, Connor? Take us through your routine.
Well, so I for one, I feel like my dad on the father's trip with his iPad. I got jammed, which if anyone knows, went decently viral. Hon, you want to take this?
Yeah.
So I'm here at the coffee bar. So I already got the water hot. I grind it up for 2 in the morning.
I'm getting thirsty.
Now, is this a routine you also have when you're in New Jersey and you're playing?
Morning, afternoon, late afternoon. Right now, it's like it's a 24-hour habit. Usually during the NHL season, my cutoff's like 2 p.m.
How much coffee do you drink?
Yeah, probably a cup or 2 a day. Honestly, I'm pretty caffeine sensitive, so I don't start doing too much. It's more of a hobby, more of like a ceremony to start my morning kind of thing. You know how NHL coaches can be. You got to be in the right mindset when you go to practice every day.
that's our vibe, and we really enjoyed it. And I think just the exuberance. People from Seattle, very proud of their city, and then we got the advice, welcome to Seattle, now get outside of it. So that's where the Port Ludlow trip came in, and we'll hopefully, get able to do that a little late today. Get in a later group, but maybe in the earlier group, get out and hike and things like that in the afternoon.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. And also, I know that you also have dabbled into media yourself.
Yeah.
You've got the podcast. I absolutely loved the interview you did with Blake Bolden. I come from the women's hockey side of things, so very familiar with her. But do you have any plans to keep that going here, and anything that you want to incorporate from that Seattle exuberance, as you said?
I do. I think, the organization as a whole, I haven't really put my feelers out into who would be considered accessible for the podcast, because there's certain sort of company boundaries. I'm not going to walk up to Ron Francis and ask him if we can sit down, right? Although that would be extremely cool. I have a million questions about what it's like to orchestrate a franchise from day one. I'm going to continue. There's a couple teammates and things like that I've talked to here. Wanted to let everyone get their feet wet and get past the first couple of days and deal with the inaugural fatigue, and then kind of dive back into it. Got a little. I was pounding out about a podcast a week there for about a year. Birth of the baby, and then the move kind of slows some things down, but I'm looking to get out ahead of it, and pump out a couple more episodes. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, well, we are too. So looking forward to it.
Sure.
And Connor, I hope you have a great training camp. We look forward to getting to see the Kraken bang it up against some other teams soon.
We sure will.
And best of luck this season.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you.